brackets.
The one with the door frame?
Yeah.
Well, when it's finished, when you get the
full door frame, yeah. Now Dave is number 32. So that's number 30, with all the grippers in. I'm working on number 31, which goes obviously between, and Dave is currently holding number 32. So that is opposite the back of the door frame on the other side.
Yeah.
And number 30 is the front of the door frame on the other side. So the wing, of course, is in a huge. That's the first time that anybody has ever broken a Lancaster wing down.
Oh, is it?
Nobody would have. They've built them all.
Yeah.
Nobody would have stripped a wing down to that level. I don't think there's a case. I said to John Marshall, John, that nobody's ever done that before. That's a great capability to have.
Yeah.
I said to Andrew as well about nobody's done. He said, but probably nobody ever will again, Phil. It will never get done again to that level.
Yeah. I mean, it took ages to straighten it out.
Yeah.
It was just it was bent across there.
And is the length and everything kind of true now?
Well,
can you get a length
because you can see where that hole is there, and that hole is there. But you can sort of get a rough.
Yes.
That's what I've done.
Yeah.
That one underneath there is just joined together with that tape, just to get it in the right place, and then I've made that former out of plywood.
Yeah.
Whether it'll work is a different matter, but.
And it's a straight bend, that isn't it, over the 90
Well, I've
degrees?
started bending it on the folder.
Yeah.
But it was looking like it might crack, so I thought, just in case, I'd maybe just try and do. I mean, the rest of it, that obviously can't be done on the fold. That's going to have to be done like Dave was doing it.
Yeah.
Shrinking it, but I'll see how that goes.
Oh, that other one you was working on last time I was here, it was a rib with a join in it, and you had to put a backing piece to hold it together.
Yeah.
You got that done, have you?
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah. These are all the ribs you've repaired, are they?
Well, they've got repairs, and they've got.
Oh, that's the one. It's the one underneath we was looking at.
That was it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So that is now the repairs done. And the repair parts are in a bag attached to it.
It's all waiting to be cleaned down.
All that needs now is the rib needs. I've checked most of the worst bits of corrosion to make sure there's no more repairs needed.
Yeah.
So then that needs either soda blasting or paint stripping, and then the corrosion removing, and then painting, and it can be put back together.
Yeah.
So we've stripped all the bits that you can strip. Obviously, that you can get in the blaster there.
Yeah.
But, and then painting, and then they can all be put back
all
together.
the repairs can be put in then.
Yeah, and they'll be like, they'll be virtually like new then.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, they won't be like new, as in there will be repairs and corrosion still on them. But compared to what they're like now, they'll be usable, and it'll all look nice.
Did the scanning of the just changed formers work out correct?
Seems to be, yes. It looks alright. We won't know till we've put that skin down, but it looks alright.
Yeah.
First impression, yeah.
So how many more forms? You've got two this side to do?
Yeah, Phil's doing that one, then we've got two more in there.
Yeah.
And that's that side done. Then we'll do the skins and get that side complete then.
Yeah. You'll put the skins on, will you?
Yeah, we'll get this whole side finished first, and then we'll move on to this side. So.
Will you rivet it on, or will it
we'll just pin it all on. We're going to get everything finished, pinned on, then everything will come off, get labelled up, sprayed, and then it's back on and riveting. So see light at the end of the tunnel now.
Yeah.
At least this is moving on now, because while I was doing the formers, nothing seemed to be happening on this, did it?
Are they for control rods?
These two will operate the tailplane and the rudder control rods. That actually go through there. Exactly.
Because the nut ring that was actually part of the valve operation. And the nut retainers, the captured nuts were on the back of that. So as we're not using that now, we've got to make another nut ring. So that's what that's all about. Now that's just some threads I screwed in there to locate it in the hole.
Yeah. John and Les working on the setup of the trailing edge jig. Skins have to be removed to allow access to the vertical jigging points. Dave's deburring holes before pinning the former into place. Phil's cutting out the lightning holes.
One lightning hole.
The cutter's underneath then. And
Yeah, that's right. You're effectively pulling the cutter through.
obviously the cutter's spinning.
So the cutter is static.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I keep the cutter static, and then you're pulling it through. So it doesn't. No, it's not. It's pressing it out. You can see the witness marks from the tool. You imagine that it had a blade on it that was cutting, but see, you're holding the spanner on it.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is you're pulling it through, and it's shaped like that. You see the blades, it's got a leading edge. I'll show you it when I get this one out through. Effectively, it's like an old-fashioned ring pull for a can of Coke. If you wanted to draw a comparison. There we go. So you've got two teeth, all you're doing is you are effectively pulling that through the back of the metal.
Is it sharp all the way around then?
Well, I think it's not sharp as in what you're thinking of, Nev. It's just what you're doing is you are a very close tolerance there, you see. So you're pulling that through the skin into there like that.
Yeah.
So you thought it would cut through like that. No, it's just a press. And it shears that disc out. You get a lovely clean hole with it.
It doesn't distort the
no, that's the sacrificial part there.
Yeah.
Because of the shape of that.
Yeah.
It's an ingenious little tool.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we like that. Yeah, right. So I just screw it up there so just touching, and then the spanner will hold that static.
And you just pull it
with
through.
the Allen key. I'm actually pulling that anvil through the metal. Yeah. Another one done.
Keith has been working on two booms of the rear spar of the French wing, removing broken rivets and screws. He has completed one boom and 3/4 away down the other. this is what you were making last week on that wood, and
Yeah.
did it go? Did the inner bend go all right?
It's out all right. That was obviously broken in half.
Good.
And they're fairly, they're not exactly the same shape that they should be, but they're near enough
Yeah, for that.
to rebuild that frame
Yeah.
and make it so that it's, I mean, better than it would have done if I'd tried to repair it. It would have been,
Yeah.
it would still have probably not been exactly the same.
No. It's certainly a lot weaker as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I've just got to make that bit, that bit there's all been smashed as well. I mean, it's not, when it's all riveted together, it'll all follow the same shape.
Oh, you made two.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I didn't realise you had two tonight.
Yeah, so it's like a matching, they'll go like, they'll go like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm with it now.
And then they go about that far apart,
Yeah.
and then there's a panel goes across, and this is where the tank sits, where the fuel tank is.
Yeah, yeah, it's the shape of the fuel bay, isn't it?
Yeah, but not that there's going to be a tank in it.
No,
But
no.
at least it's there
Yeah.
in case you ever need to do so. Quite pleased that, my last job. Like Dave said, you're only as good as your last job.
Oh, well done.